And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Talking Sports. I'm Sergeant Rock. That's Mike Cox.
Hey.
Joe Stovall, he's on his way. Here's what we're going to be talking about this afternoon. You know, the Illini squeezed out another one at Memorial Stadium last Saturday. They're now 2-0, headed up to Washington tomorrow. Things could change.
Been updated, by the way.
What's been updated? Oh, the Blade Runner? Yeah. He was found innocent of murder, but they found him guilty of what they call
Culpable homicide,
Yeah, whatever.
which I guess is their negligent homicide.
Excuse me. What's up with that? And this Ray Rice thing, it got full blown this week. Man, just think of all the lives there. I was thinking about this last night when I was watching the news. Just think about all the lives, different people this thing has affected.
Two.
It's crazy.
Four.
More than that.
Well, at least.
More than that. We get into that a little later. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is being sued for sexual assault. Some pictures came out of him last week in a compromised position with a young lady. They took some pictures. She claimed that Jerry was doing some inappropriate touching.
Based on where his hand was in the picture, I'd say so.
And Illini basketball guard Tracy Abrams has torn his ACL, and he'll be out for this coming season. We got all that and more coming up on this edition of Talking Sports. You be sure and stay tuned.
Welcome back. Talking Sports WBCP 1580, UPTV Channel 6, U versus Channel 99, Chinese Cable Channel
670 something.
and Yugoslavian. What is
12-12.
very good.
You're welcome.
You've been paying attention.
I've been learning stuff.
You hooked on phonics?
No, I've just been learning stuff.
Just been learning stuff.
Yep. Been an interesting week, Joe.
Sure has. you remember back in the day when Sesame Street first came out, you know? And they'd be like, and this show was sponsored by the letter E and flowers.
Never really was a Sesame Street watcher.
What was your thing back in the day? Howdy doody.
You sure you want to ask that?
You know, I was in the Quick Draw McGraw, and Yogi and Boo Boo, all of them, Mighty Mouse,
Yeah.
Rocky and Bullwinkle?
them too, Moose and Squirrel.
Moose and squirrel.
That's right. That's
What
what
about Ignat Rat and Crazy Cat?
him too?
Throwing bricks.
You know, violence was
Was the thing of the...
that was in all the cartoons.
Beep, beep.
You do it today, and
Oh.
Mothers Against Everything is coming at you. You got my kids watching somebody get hit upside the head with a brick.
Nah, he's walking around the house with a rubber mallet, smashing everything.
And Wile E. Coyote just couldn't catch the road running. He was catching hell every morning.
The question I got for Wile E. Coyote is, why did he never file a lawsuit against Acme?
Right?
Because, you know, Acme was the one that supplied him with all the tools. The rockets, the ball bearings to put out on the road.
The anvil.
The anvil that always used to...
Dynamite to blow up too early.
There you go. You know,
Yeah.
the earthquake pills.
He just needed stuff. You can't sue.
He must have had like an Acme card, a frequent buyer card.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, I don't pay for nothing, so I wouldn't have went in there. I would have made my own.
I'm picturing Acme like Home Depot. You know, and every time he come in, hey, Wiley. Hey.
No, he always order his stuff, remember? Because trucks always drop it off.
So he had internet back in the day.
He had something. Because he out there in the middle of the desert, but he getting everything.
Everything dropped off.
Down that canyon.
Yeah.
Great cartoons. Great cartoons.
How
Right.
did,
Huh?
how did I come in with
I don't know.
cartoons on the brain?
Well,
Which
How'd
you've
you
been watching
come-
on the internet.
he be sitting at home downstairs in the basement with a thumb in his mouth watching Sesame Street. That's what it is.
Hey, Kermit was on CBS this morning, so.
Oh, see. So I'm on current events. And I do not keep my thumb in my mouth.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Did an entire segment this morning. A letter to himself.
To Kermit?
Well, ain't none of his business, was
Right. As he's drinking tea.
it? Exactly. Anyway, let's get straight to business. Like I said, it's been an interesting week. I mean, this Ray Rice debacle, as we used to call it in the military, has became a real cluster mess.
But that's
That's
not what you said.
Like,
But for the purpose of TV and radio,
cluster
FCC regulations.
cluster mess. Man, it has gotten. Ooh. Joe, this is right up your alley because as a conspiracy theorist,
Me?
I'm sure you have all kind of plots and twists and angles and information how this is being played out and how it's going to be played out.
I thought he was talking about mayhem for a minute.
Right.
Sorry, wrong company.
Right.
But there's one thing I just want to say, right? Get this right out the way. Where you going, Duck? I'm tired of seeing this lady getting knocked out.
Thank you. Thank you.
These TV networks need to just,
But you
I mean, every time they mention him, they show the
knockout.
Yeah, they just need to quit showing that.
Let's go back weeks ago. When I say weeks ago, I mean weeks ago. When this first hit, what did we say about the suspension of 2 games?
Too short.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough.
Did we see a video? Do you have to see the video
Yeah. When I asked you, did you see it Monday? You hit me back. Does that make it any worse?
Right. I said, did the crime change?
No, it just made it look worse.
No, not to me.
Well, because, see, when he drug out, you already know something happened to him, more than likely. Go ahead,
No, I
Mike.
was just gonna say, the point is we didn't see the video, so everybody has in their mind what it looked like,
Right.
and then when you actually physically see it,
Mhm.
a lot of folks' impression suddenly became so much more horrible, which
Right.
I don't get. But
Right.
And that's where I'm going to go. Hold on. Let me pull it out. Get my soapbox.
Oh, all right, here we go.
What the video has proven, first of all,
so we'll turn the camera to wide angle.
there you go. It just has proven what we already know about our own society. We are a voyeuristic society. You said earlier, you're tired of seeing the video play. But have they stopped playing it?
Not
No.
that I know of.
Because we are voyeurs. We claim that we wanted to see this for the purpose of justice. No, we don't. The American society just want to see this video.
So they all go, ooh,
Ooh, that's it.
Ooh.
And why?
back it up.
Because on social media, every day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, there are videos being played
Girls
of
fighting.
girls fighting,
Dudes
dudes fighting girls,
Yeah.
Girls knocking out
guys, dog attacks. What is it called? World Star Hip Hop. That crap is watched every day in this society. Watch this girl get bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And people are clicking on it.
Exactly. And the news media knows it. What is TMZ other than the National Enquirer on steroids?
On video. On steroids,
On
on video.
video. That's all the TMZ has been.
Since its
And remember-
inception, because they follow all the celebrities around for little quick snap interviews as they're coming out of dinner, in the airport.
And so when National Enquirer came out, you'd be in the grocery store.
It's ready to check.
Shocking news about Sam Sergeant Rock Britton. And then you turn to page 3 and it'd be really nothing.
Really,
But it was all about sensationalizing anything that happened in your life. TMZ is just taken to another level because it's video. But let's get back to the real issue. You said me being a conspiracy theorist? I am.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my whole thing with this. Roger Goodell knew about this video.
He said he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't know nothing about it. Had never seen it.
Right.
Didn't know of its existence. Nothing.
Okay, Schultz. I know nothing.
I get the reference. Nobody listening does it, I don't think.
Here's the thing that, when we were talking about this weeks ago and we were talking about how lenient he was. The NFL wasn't concerned about domestic violence.
No.
The NFL is concerned with one thing and one thing only. The bottom line. And here's the way you got to look at it in terms of my conspiracy. Each team is valued at about $1 billion. Some more, some less. But on average, it's about $1 billion per franchise. So that means you got 32 teams. That's $32 billion with a B. Roger Goodell, as commissioner, makes anywhere from $30 to $40 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you are making $30 to $40 million a year and I'm in the billion, what does that mean when I tell you don't mess with the bees? Whatever you have to do to make sure that it don't float upstream, that's why we pay you $30 to $40 million. So when Roger Goodell and Ray Rice and Janae Palmer, now Janae Palmer Rice, were sitting in his office in New York after the incident happened, and Ray Rice told her, yeah, I knocked her out. And Janae Palmer said what? Yeah, he knocked me out.
Okay.
Roger Goodell went, I see nothing,
Ding.
I hear nothing.
That's exactly what he did. As opposed to saying, look, Ray, you're a great guy,
But this is going to cost you.
and it's going to cost you big. And why is it going to cost you? Because I'm not losing $40 million a year as a commissioner because them bees say they don't want this stuff coming up messing with their bottom line.
That brings up an interesting question. Will he lose those $40 million a year?
Well, let's think about it. I'm an owner.
No, he won't, because them owners have made so much money since Roger Goodell has been the commissioner.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
What?
You're in the mob. You're in the middle of the
You're a lieutenant.
right. You've made the big guys a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've seen Goodfellas. You've seen Casino.
What do you think they're gonna start doing? Separating themselves from Goodell?
Hey,
Yep.
hey.
He lied. He lied.
He's
Turns
mess.
out-
He's
it turns out.
he's messing with the bees.
Because half the people he just pissed off by saying he never saw the video are females.
And what's getting ready to happen in 2 weeks? The month of what? October.
I told you.
And what month is that in the NFL?
That's it.
Pink.
Pink month.
But you got some of NFL's major sponsors looking at this very carefully,
Yeah,
And
Because
why
they-
are they looking at it?
because they don't want to mess with their bees.
exactly.
You're now following.
Oh, come on now! I've been on the team a long time.
Give me some, baby.
Shoot,
That's what I'm talking about.
They
That's what I'm talking
They
about.
was sleep at the wheel.
And the bad part is you got a commissioner down the street in the NBA who is very proactive about it. He's up front. I don't know what happened yet, but we're gonna find out.
Right.
And then we'll take action. Goodell, I see no evil, I hear no evil.
Well,
I
the
speak
collective
no
bargaining agreement says, and
Well,
and
See, he trying to cover his ass right now because he messed up in the beginning, right?
and that's
And then when this video came, he didn't suspend Ray Rice because he finally got to see the video. He suspended Ray Rice for all that time because we saw the video.
that's
Exactly.
it, and that's the point. You have to recognize your customer base, and that's why by making $30 to $40 million a year, you're getting paid to make the tough decisions, not follow the collective bargaining agreement, which I've been arguing for weeks. If he came out like Adam Silver and made a bold statement, that would have taken care of the public relations nightmare that he's going through right now.
'Cause if you remember when the Clippers thing happened, it was just over the weekend. That was it. The everybody was going nuts on the weekend. Silver came out like Sunday or Monday, whenever it was, and said, "Not sure what happened yet. Got to make sure it's his voice, but I will take action." And everything died down.
Right. And then when he took action, it was bold, it was swift. And here's the other thing you got to remember.
Precedent setting at that.
Bingo. He set a standard. Even though people were talking about, well, legally, can he do this? No,
He didn't care.
He didn't care. And that's what I've been trying to say for the past few weeks. Roger Goodell could come out and make a statement. Ray Rice is banned for 8 games or he's banned for the season. Legally, the NFLPA would come back, no, that's against the collective bargaining. But that's legalese. Public opinion would say that's what our commissioner is supposed to do. And guess what the bees would say?
We're good.
We're good.
And more importantly, Ray still got a job.
Right. So that's the problem, is that he gets paid to make those decisions, and he didn't make it. Minimum wage worker could have looked at that video and made it, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody.
Him dragging her out of the elevator like Fred Flintstone.
Right. So that's what we've been arguing about this whole time, about his culpability in this whole thing was the fact that he didn't act like a commissioner should. When Pete Rose got banned from baseball, was that popular? No, not at all. But it had to be done to send a message. You do not gamble on baseball. Pete Rose, one of the most popular players of all time.
Still is.
Hits leader, Charlie Hustle, the kind of guy that everybody would want their kid to play like when they play baseball.
Except Johnny Bench.
Well, yeah.
Bench don't like him at all.
And Tony Perez.
I interviewed Bench. I didn't interview Perez.
But you think about that. They made those decisions. Weren't popular, but it set a standard and a precedent. And the Ray Rice issue, let's make sure we're clear on domestic violence. Domestic violence is not an NFL problem.
No.
It is a societal problem.
Happens all over the world.
Right.
Yes, sir.
When does domestic violence spike the highest in this country?
Beginning of September through February.
And what's the highest date? Super Bowl Sunday. It's a societal problem. When everybody talks about, Ray Rice should lose his job. How many men are losing their jobs when they're involved in domestic violence?
Not many.
Right.
Not for the first offense. Not for the first time. Although some females have told me, well, it's not the first time he's ever done that. I said, no, I don't.
Right.
Neither do you. He just happened, let's assume that it was his first offense, if you will. He just happened to do it when there was a camera roll.
Right. And now, moving forward on that, good segue, this now tells you about the NFL security and the NFL. The NFL security team is one of the best in the world.
I have to agree because of all of what they have to deal with.
And what's the biggest thing that they got to protect?
Stadiums and
The bees, the billions.
Yep.
That's why these guys can get any information they want. And for the commissioner to say, well, we asked for the video, but they didn't. Well, he sound like Jerry Lewis. Then the lady, and then the way. No.
Sound like a little kid trying to come up with an excuse.
Yeah.
Don't sit here. And then it really hit him in the face. Oh, yeah, we sent him that video in April.
Yeah.
Now, the video just, it's just sitting on somebody's desk somewhere and, Commissioner, I forgot to give this to you 5 months ago.
Exactly.
No.
Oh, what is it? Oh, it's from some casino in Jersey?
Right. Revel Casino in Atlantic City.
And they're now closed. What?
I mean, this is just, and when you talk about crime and cover-up, we all know in America, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up.
Right.
And sometimes the cover-up is not intentional, but the cover-up is based on incompetence. And when I pay you $40 million a year,
You better not be incompetent at anything. And Sarge, it all rolls downhill.
Yeah. I'm just thinking right now, it sucks to be Roger Goodell.
Yeah, it does. It's sucked to be Roger Goodell for the past 5 months.
Right.
Ever since Ray Rice knocked her out.
Right. But all he had to do, I mean, Adam Silver gave him a template
Oh, yeah.
of what a commissioner in the 21st century has to do. Because Adam Silver knows It's about the bees. And if I'm going to continue as a commissioner in a league of billionaires, I gotta make sure that whatever decisions I make are so decisive and so swift that when they're done, they're done.
Well, and a good example of that template is the Hawks majority owner, whatever he is, is selling his shares of something he wrote, a few years ago or something in an email.
I think he's doing that to keep the wrath of Sterling come down on him.
No, I think now, here's my conspiracy theory on that. He saw Donald Sterling just get $2 billion for a franchise that's not even worth that much. And the Hawks are taking on water. They've had trouble making money for years. So what do? Oh, yeah, I'm a racist. Hey.
You crazy.
I'm a racist. Can I sell my team?
Look at his email.
Look at his email I sent out 5 years ago. I'm a racist. Can I sell my team?
You think he's that low to do something like that? Really?
He didn't get to where he's at by being the most ethical person on the face of the earth, shall we say? I'm assuming.
Right. If you have a car that's leaking oil, and you've done everything you can to fix the leak, what's the next step? You get rid of the car.
Put a for sale sign out, hope nobody looks underneath it.
That's it. That's the same thing he's doing here, and he's using it. He's trying to be contrite. Oh, look at me. I didn't mean to do this. So I'm self-reporting. I'm going to report myself as a racist.
That's what he did, too.
Right.
And I don't want all the bad press Sterling got.
There you go.
For being, combative.
So I'm going to fall on my shield, and I'm going to say, for $2 billion, you can take the Hawks.
Or hell, for $1 billion.
Well, hold on.
It's a win-win if you're in the business. If you look at it from the business perspective, it's a win-win for him. He gets out. He doesn't get the press like Sterling got because he's self-reported, but he still gets the windfall that Sterling got when they sell this team.
How much? I don't know. We have to look to see how much the Hawks are worth. We did that. A few weeks back.
Right.
When we said, we had a little sheet with Forbes did how much NBA teams were worth.
But let's say on average, let's say the Hawks are worth.
Let's say they're worth $1 million.
750 million. Let's say that. 500 millions. Like the Clippers were worth 500 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they sold for $2 billion.
Right.
So that man got a $1.5 billion profit. Cha-ching!
Now, he only owns part of the Hawks. He don't outright own.
He's the majority owner, though. And see, what happens is now, Danny Ferry and the rest of those guys where all this started, they'll be looking for a new job. Because whoever buys the Hawks, the first thing they'll do is bring their team in,
people in.
and they'll clean house. Levinson doesn't have to deal with the Danny Ferry issue. He didn't have to deal with the email he sent out about the demographics of, who he's trying to get into the stadium. He didn't have to deal with none of that. Only thing he has to do is go to the bank,
Cash
a check.
And then go buy a boat and start sailing to the tropics.
Right.
Don't you just love America? I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
There you go. And that's why he's loving America. Yeah, so Ray Rice, I hope he gets reinstated next year. He shouldn't lose his career from this. When everybody keeps trying to protect Goodell, saying, well, he was the one who punched Janae.
Doesn't matter.
He wasn't. But he was the one that created the domino effect by making this weak decision and not thinking that this video, if they got video you coming out the elevator, they got video you in the elevator.
And going in it.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way from the casino floor to the elevator.
And they said there's multiple casino workers who saw the video.
So you know it's just a matter of time before it hit YouTube.
Right.
Now, what do you think about the security guard that came up, and just stood up watching Ray Rice do whatever he was doing? Did not offer to help. Didn't say anything other than no police.
And the fact that she's drunk, right?
Yeah, exactly. In other words, covering his butt.
Hey, he don't make the money Ray Rice does.
There you go.
Turns out he doesn't have a job anyway.
Anyway,
at
right.
that casino.
Yeah.
But,
They
well,
call that karma. Huh?
what's that old saying about you can delegate responsibility but never accountability? And that's what I think Goodell's looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he got New York Giants owner John Mayer and Pittsburgh Steelers owner Art Rooney. They're going to oversee an investigation into all of this.
Yeah, with ex-FBI director
Robert Mueller.
Mueller, yeah,
Mhm.
the third.
whose
So there's two other ones, huh?
whose law firm has done a lot of business with the NFL.
Oh, come
Oh
on.
yeah, okay.
You gonna get your people. Go ahead, Joe.
But there, it just, I don't need to say anything.
You gonna get your people.
You're reading the conspiracy right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, you gonna get your people to work for you.
Right.
But I believe they're gonna do a fair investigation.
Well, whether they
Yep.
do a fair investigation or not, they're going to bill a lot of hours.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna find out who the young lady was on the phone. They said, "Oh, that looks horrible," and then shoot the email up.
Here's the thing. They know who that lady is.
Mm-hmm.
She knows who she is,
She is. Right. Roger Goodell knows who she is.
and she probably at home right now peeping out the blinds.
No. She got that old suitcase. She's throwing some stuff in it right now, trying to sneak out the back. And just when she get out the back door, that black Suburban pulls up.
Can we talk? You know,
I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I was talking to Mike before we went on. I like just think of all the lives that are being affected by this incident. You know, not just Roger Goodell, and not just Janae and Ray, but like the lady who took took the phone call or got the email with the video. The police, the attorneys who didn't charge Ray Rice, the judge.
Well, see, okay.
Even the 52 guys that are still currently playing for the Ravens are affected by it.
Well, let's go to that. Because that's where I think, for lack of a better term, the self-righteousness of America. This thing was adjudicated the same way, whether it was Ray Rice or Ray Brown. The prosecutor did what? Gave him the diversion. He went through the class. That's it. They said that's the same thing they did for all first-time offenders.
Yep.
Now, like I said, everybody's so self-righteous. Everybody's up in arms. Oh, I can't believe you. That man should be in jail.
To be in prison.
Why? Because you saw the video?
And his status. He's supposed to be a
role model?
A role model, that's right.
Well, so are you, Sarge, but if you were in that situation...
We know how that goes, though.
If you were in that situation as a first-time offender, you would get the same thing that everybody else gets.
That's
it shouldn't
it.
matter if you make millions of dollars a year if the justice system, and we know it's not, but if if justice is blind,
Right.
it shouldn't matter.
And I think that's where I'm having an issue now with this piling on. Because now it's like, Ray Rice, do we condone domestic violence? Of course not.
Absolutely not.
Right. But we have a justice system that's to dole out the punishment when you break the law. And now it's not even double jeopardy, it's triple jeopardy. It's this thing that's happened.
Well, he cannot be charged
right.
anymore by the law.
That's the point. But who's taking over though? The court of public opinion
In the NFL?
and the NFL and the Ravens. The man sat there and told him what he did in February. He didn't.
He owned up to it.
Right. It's not like he said, "Yeah, I shoved her." No. He told him,
I punched her.
I punched her and knocked her unconscious.
Well, no. The story was that he told her, a couple of people I was reading things, he hit her with an open hand, a slap.
Okay. He still admitted to knocking her out. like I said,
a closed fist or an open hand is still going to knock her into the back of the elevator.
Right. And the bottom line is this: he admitted to hitting her. The issue was, did Ray Rice hit his fiance? The answer is yes. And I go back to what I said about, right. And I go back to this thing about being voyeurs. We saw the first video of him dragging her out, as he said, like Fred Flintstone. At that point, you don't have to be the rocket scientist in the room to figure out what happened and to dole out the punishment and move forward. My final statement on this is, here's what should happen. If people keep talking about having courage, the owners should fire Roger Goodell. The suspension of Ray Rice is stand for the season. He should be reinstated and allowed to come back in the league next year. And they should have a clear standard in terms of what Goodell tried to set in terms of 6 games for your first offense, lifetime ban for a second offense. They need to get that now.
Okay, well, speaking of now, that National Organization of Women, see how I pick up and run with that?
Man.
She wants Goodell fired. She wants Ray Rice not to play football anymore.
See?
So we're going to see what happens, though.
And that's the double standard Joe was talking about a moment ago. You know, and the thing is, the prosecuting attorney's office there, they checked his background, so they know if he's been involved in something, if he's had law enforcement contact with something before, so they know.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, it truly was his first time. Doesn't minimize it at all. None of that. Doesn't condone it. Nothing.
Right.
But he's a first-time offender.
And if we're going to get to the point where we're killing mosquitoes with sledgehammers, then that magnifying glass of what have you done needs to now start shining on a lot of other folks.
Oh, yeah.
Stop using sports and stop using athletes as standards for morality.
Well, you already got 2 more players that, one guy, I can't remember which one it was. He pled guilty for the
Greg Hardy plays for the Panthers.
Yeah.
And he's appealing his case.
Yeah, and then you have another guy with the 49ers.
Ray McDonald.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, they still waiting to see the outcome on him.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them guys are currently still playing.
Yeah.
So, I don't think they're going to get their suspensions or whatever it's going to be until after this boils over.
Yeah.
So, no telling how long that take. And take TMZ. They probably sitting in their office just snickering and, toasting and turning up because a few months ago, it was the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Now they done got the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Guess what, though? Black Suburban's pulling up to TMZ.
Mm-hmm. Some very large individuals getting out of it.
With sunglasses on and tight suits.
Big old bulge on the side.
Want to know what's up?
Mm-hmm. Can we talk for a second?
What's the little dude name? Harry Levin? He's an attorney.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
remember the show what was it, Cheaters?
Yeah.
Still comes on.
Yeah. What time it come on now? 3 in the morning?
No, I think it's like 1:30.
Point taken. Remember when the guy got stabbed?
Yeah.
See.
Stranger things have
What
happened.
happened?
Oh, so
Some Black Suburbans pull up.
Levin's gonna go missing, huh?
He may not go missing, but he may need to.
He might rethink his career choice.
There you go.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about another athlete that got away with murder. I call him the O.J. Simpson of South Africa. We'll be back right after these.
Welcome back. Talking Sports WBCP 1580. SARS went and cashed a check during the break. How much was that check for?
Apparently not enough to buy us all lunch.
No, come on now. I can't disclose my finances.
We didn't ask you to disclose your finances. We asked you to disclose that check.
That's all my
Let me
finances.
just put it this way, man. We starving like Marvin in here, okay?
I'm hungry.
Hungry like ostriches.
I got some.
No, I don't. Look, man, I don't want none of your half-eaten Oreos.
Oh, okay.
Your famous Amos cookies that's been under
That was
the...
a big bag, though. They had that time.
Right, remember that?
Yeah, I got some.
Don't tell me some black walnuts.
No, they chocolate chip double stuff.
Chocolate chip double stuff.
Yeah. Ooh. I got something here. Y'all made fun of me the last time I brought this up about the atmosphere skip where our signal goes to Oslo, Norway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was looking for something in my desk. You can tell I haven't cleaned it out in a while because this is dated back '03. And I came across the cassette tape. See, WBCP was heard in Finland on, what they say? January 29th, 2003 at 6:28 p.m.
So first of all, let me say two things. You could get a job at the NFL office if you've got a tape from 2003 still in your desk. And you got the tape of Ray Rice.
No, I haven't cleaned out my desk since '03. I need to get in there seriously though. But I was looking for something and this popped up and I said, "Oh, so they didn't believe. They thought it was all funny, making jokes about me and."
So what I'm picturing, I'm picturing Schwinn. He's got the headphones on.
Yeah, they're what they call them, amateur radio.
The big ham radio in
Yeah,
his.
you know, they got clubs and whatnot. That's what they do. They just sit around and see what they can pick up. So
And he picked you up.
they picked it up.
But I noticed there's no tape recorder we could play and hear that.
There's one over there. But a cassette player, you know, they don't.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll put this in his deuce and a quarter. Put the curb feelers. And we'll be able to listen to this.
Oscar Pistorius,
Tink tink.
the Blade Runner, yesterday was found innocent of murder. Today he was found guilty of culpable, I guess how you pronounce it, homicide or negligent killing. That's what they call it.
We call it manslaughter.
Yep, same thing. And he can get a prison sentence of maximum of 15 years.
Or you can get a suspended sentence.
But I'm trying to figure out how the prosecutors dropped the ball on this one.
Once again, why do we say if a judge makes a finding, we immediately say the prosecutor dropped the ball?
Because they failed to do their job. To prove beyond a shadow of a doubt.
But they can't make up evidence.
Right. They can only present the information that they have, and if it's not enough to meet your threshold, that's the decision the judge makes. Now, here's the issue on this case. Was it premeditated? That's what they had to prove. They had to prove that he willingly knew that night
He was fixing to shoot.
he's fixing to kill his girlfriend. And there are only two people who can say if that's true, and one of them ain't here no more.
He had to have malice of forethought.
Where's that?
We can end the show right now.
Where's that Law and Order?
Right. Wong wong.
Dum, dum, dum.
We gotta end the show right now. You just said malice of forethought.
I'm gonna go get me a lottery ticket.
Right.
Well, you don't think I know the law?
I didn't say you didn't know the law.
I
just
studied now.
the words of the law.
He came out.
Right.
2 words.
It just flowed.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Thank you.
Malice of forethought. I didn't sit here and think about that. That was a lot of forethought.
But come on now.
For a week.
You get up out of bed. You know, Sweetie's not laying there next to you. Now you think you hear something in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you just reach over on the nightstand, put out your Glock, and go walking around the house looking who's supposedly be in there. Now you still don't know where baby at. Baby, where you at?
I'm in the bathroom.
All right, wait a minute.
Who is that? Boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
I said I'm in the bathroom. Oh, I ain't kill you. Let me shoot 7 more times.
That's what I'm saying.
But once again, you're using the court of public opinion and not the standards, the legal standards that they had to use over there. And it was the judge's opinion that the prosecutor didn't meet the threshold.
I mean, if you saw some of the courtroom footage, you know, I happened to see some of them. The prosecutor had this man on the stand babbling, crying, changing the stories around, and you just knew they was gonna find him guilty.
You just proven the point. Based on that, if you were the judge, would you have said he was guilty of murder?
Only thing missing, Joe, was a glove. That was the only thing missing.
No, shoes.
Oh, well, shoes involved too.
Blade Runner. Remember, he got malice aforethought.
Forethought, right? You know,
He's done
take,
for the day.
You're right. You just shut down. There's like the window and the curtain comes down. Be back in 15 minutes.
On break.
And so
Look.
they did everything they could do. I think it goes again. You know, Mike talked about the criminal justice system here, obviously in America. It's supposed to be blind, and here it is. We're in South Africa, but you've got a celebrity athlete. He's a double amputee who's run in the Olympics. He is a cherished hero in South Africa.
If not,
So
The-
wait a minute. So he should get preferential treatment?
you see it happen all the time.
And that's our point, is that we're not saying he should, but once again, we're saying why people are so surprised when that occurs. And here it is, it's not even in America. It's happening in another country.
The greatest part of all that, I thought, and there's a certain level of irony to it, but the judge is a elegant, older, black South African woman.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be appropriate somehow.
Yeah. Now, even though he wasn't convicted of murder, he was convicted of everything else. And so the question is, and I think what sentencing is next
Next month.
Next month.
in October, if she gives him the maximum of 15 years, number one, theoretically his athletic career is now done.
Right.
Oh, it's been done since he started squeezing rounds off.
Right. And as we know, not to try to equate this to the OJ trial, as you said earlier, but what happened to OJ? Even though he was found not guilty.
He went downhill at the
Hey,
He bum rushed some guys in a Vegas hotel.
he's doing more time in jail for cleats
Mm-hmm.
than it is for killing. But that's because Mark made a comment earlier about karma. No. It'll come back.
Yeah. Most definitely.
You know.
Most definitely. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick after the Ray Rice thing. Let's talk about the Illini.
Which ones?
Let's go with the football first. They managed to squeak out another victory.
42-34, Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers. Last week when we talked about it and tried to make our predictions, one of the things that we said, and it didn't happen, is that we were talking about Illini's offensive line putting a hat on a hat and creating massive holes for Josh Ferguson and Donovan Young. Instead, we got Wes Lunt throwing for 426 yards and another comeback, fourth quarter comeback, to beat a team that, you know, pretty good team, but
Yeah.
still, once again, not on the standards of what you would expect you're going to be facing in a conference like the Big Ten.
Defense did.
Admirable job.
They still a problem though.
Well, they are, but
Still a problem. But they didn't let them put up 52 like they did the week before.
They were throw for 700 yards or whatever it was.
Right. They did enough to win. You get a 77-yard interception return by the defense.
Man, he could run.
You get a couple turnovers created by the defense.
Mm-hmm.
The question still remains, and I had talked to Mike about this, and I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Illinois' offense, when the ball is on their side of the 50, they are struggling offensively. When the ball is at the 50 or on the opponent's side, you see a lot of magic happen. Now, they did have what was it, 61-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Justin Harden. I didn't know he had them Jets.
I don't think he knew he had them.
You may be right. Yeah, you may be right.
But it's getting to a point where after the Youngstown State game, you had to put 28 up to beat Youngstown State late, and you had to score 42 to beat Western Kentucky
late.
Is this the MO of the team where West Lunt's just going to have to throw it 40 or 50 times a game and hope that you can get a break with a turnover here?
Well, when you've got fourth year seniors from Texas that instead of cutting left and going to the really big opening that any of us could have ran through, cuts to the right into the block, yeah, he might have to.
Yeah. And you've gone 2 games against, as I said earlier, 2 teams
FCS opponents,
right, who are not the quality of an opponent that you would expect to see in the Big Ten. And now you're going on the road to Washington
Tomorrow.
You're going to find out a lot about who they are tomorrow.
Right. You know, back in the day, the reason why Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes didn't throw the ball as much, they said there's 3 things that can happen when you throw the football, and 2 are bad. One's an incompletion, the other one's an interception.
What a great name.
Right. Now, there are games where, as Mike talked about, the youthful receivers on this team do a great job catching the ball in space, moving the chains, chunks of yardage. And Lunt looks comfortable back there, slinging it around. But we've all seen it before. There's a finite amount of games that you can play like that.
Mm-hmm.
You then have to, tighten your chin strap up and go man on man with a team, especially when it comes to the run game. And they haven't done it yet. And I don't expect them to go out to Washington State and play the Huskies and decide this Saturday, you know what,
We're finally going to man up.
we're just going to man up and run this football.
You have to do something different because Washington has seen film already.
Well, but one thing in Illinois' favor is Washington's best defensive back is out. He's either been suspended or hurt or something. He's not going to play. Is that what you hang your hat on for a win? No, of course not. But if we all know, whether you're in the Big Ten, whether you're in the SEC, whether you're in whatever conference, if you cannot run the football, you're not going to win.
Right.
And, like I said, you've got guys that are making their cut into the block versus that 15 feet of open space.
Now, I know that the trend now in college football is to throw the football.
You still got to be able to run it.
And you do have to, as Mike said, because if you think about championship quality football and teams who were above 500, there comes that time that they have to, let the Hogs get in the trenches and just go ahead and road grade for you. And you've got 3 seniors on this offensive line, and I think that's where if I'm coaching, that's where my concern is, because I'm losing. If I'm throwing the ball this year like this, what happens next year when I lose those 3 seniors on the offensive line?
Because the 2 big offensive linemen coming in aren't the answer.
Right.
Next year, they might be in a year or 2.
There you go.
But
So, even though they're 2-0, I still say you got more questions than answers. Defensively, we said they're
Mhm.
getting there, but they're giving up chunks.
Yeah.
The thing that they have done in the first 2 games is when they've needed to make a play, they've made the play. Youngstown had the ball for 40 minutes. Western Kentucky, they're back. Had over 100 yards in the first half.
In like 10 the second half.
Because now they just start slinging. I mean, that should be alarming. Or maybe Beckman knows, maybe he already knows, hey, this is
what I got.
This is what I got. I got to play with the hand that's dealt. And if that means I got to score, on average, 35 points a game to win, if you go back and look at Illinois during Kurt Gittner's year when they went to the Sugar Bowl.
2001-ish?
Mm-hmm. Same style of football. They won a lot of games, high scoring. The defense made enough plays at the end of games to salvage victories. But they won games during that Ron Turner era by the skin of their teeth. And that's why when they went to the Sugar Bowl, they got
blasted.
Right, they got exposed by LSU. Rohan Davey was the quarterback for LSU.
Yep.
And I mean, they just hit them. They beat Illinois down, and then Illinois made a run. You saw Brandon Lloyd and Kittner hook up a couple of times. But that team, to me, is a mirror image of what you got right now. And I know it looks good. It's just like, the Dave Wilsons and the Tony Easons when Mike White was coaching. And you bring in the big, strong arm quarterback, and he just throws it all over. Yeah, that's good, exciting football. But at some point, you got to play football.
Well, and ultimately, if one throws for 800 yards a game and they're not winning, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If they're not getting this W, then.
So going out to the other area for them, you talk about the corner being out for Washington. Well, they got a defensive tackle that's 339 pounds. He leads the nation in sacks. That's unheard of. Because usually a tackle / nose guard is getting double teamed by the center and the guard.
Yeah, getting picked up by back sometimes.
Right. So he's always getting 2, sometimes 3 guys on him. And for him to already have 6 sacks in 2 games, that means that there will be a lot of middle pressure in West Lund's face tomorrow.
And you would think that those 3 seniors on the offensive line could handle that.
Right.
But
Well, we'll see tomorrow. The game's on Fox, by the way.
Yeah.
So, it comes on, 11 o'clock, I think?
Mm-hmm.
or is it
Yeah.
a 3 o'clock game? I thought maybe I'm wrong. Oh,
No.
let me look at the paper.
Hey,
Let's see.
we have the newspaper.
It's 11 o'clock, I do believe.
I
Well-
think you're right.
Can we come over to your place and watch it?
Sure you can.
He's got plenty of TVs. Last time I was there,
See? And
One
didn't
for
pay
each
for
of us.
and didn't pay for any of them.
one for each of us.
Yep. I didn't pay for not nary one.
Speaking of Big Ten football, what happened last week? With Michigan getting just embarrassed
Oh, bad.
Oh,
by Notre Dame. Michigan State scored 28 points on Oregon, and it was like Oregon was letting their little brother get a few baskets before they blew them away.
You know where Michigan State lost that game? When that kid made that diving interception.
Mhm.
You just saw all the air
Air
of
just-
Michigan State.
And in Ohio State, we know that Braxton Miller is out, but they lose at home to
I gotta
Virginia
take
Tech.
this call, gentlemen.
Okay. And in 2 weeks, with the new college playoff system in place, there are 4 places, and there are five power conferences. Theoretically, the Big Ten has played themselves out of the.
Yeah.
When you have your marquee programs losing
And
I mean,
two of them losing
bad. Ohio State lost by 14 at home against a Virginia Tech team that I don't think people expected.
to be as good.
Good.
Is Frank Beamer still the coach there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But I also think, like on that Michigan game, it's your last game against a rivalry that's been going on since 77, 78. Notre Dame had never beaten Michigan by more than, I think,
touchdown,
10,
right?
it was like a touchdown or 10 points. But that was the most they'd ever beaten them by. And it beat them, what was it, 36-0?
Zip. Yeah.
Brady Hoke, I'm starting to look at Michigan from this standpoint. When Rich Rodriguez came in and he kind of tried to change everything with the spread offense, people were like, that's not Michigan football.
They were winning.
They get rid of Rich Rodriguez and they bring in Hoke because he was a Michigan man.
Guy, yeah.
But I really think it was less about Hoke being a Michigan guy and more about Rodriguez just getting rid of him.
Yeah.
The rumors are right now, because of all the issues in San Francisco, Jim Harbaugh can be in Ann Arbor as early as next year. And I think that takes Michigan back to having a Michigan man, because quite frankly, when they got Brady Hoke, Michigan really wanted Les Miles
Right.
out of LSU. And LSU said, you talk to them all you want. Here's a blank check.
Right, exactly.
You're not going anywhere. We're going to pay you whatever we need to pay you. So I think with that being said,
I'm not necessarily sure that Jim Harbaugh would be a good hire for them.
well, you think about it. Former quarterback,
Yeah, number 4, I believe.
beloved in the area.
Yep.
He cut his teeth doing college football, especially at Stanford. The issues that the 49ers are having in terms of off-the-field issues,
Mm-hmm.
his contract renegotiation from what I understand, management at San Fran doesn't like him. He doesn't like them.
Right.
San Fran has a brand new stadium, so that they're going into this season with a lot of question marks. And if things don't pan out, the 49ers have been to 3 NFC championship games in a row. So now it's either Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
And if it's bust, on top of all the off-the-field stuff,
I just wonder if he'll be able to recruit.
I think he will. If he can recruit at Stanford and get the quality wins that he got at Stanford, I definitely think he can recruit at Michigan.
Well, obviously the academic center won't necessarily be as tight and as high
Right.
as it is at Stanford. But I just see Jim Harbaugh as just a ticking time bomb. He's going to explode one of these days. Although he has significantly mellowed.
Yeah.
But
And that's the reason why I think that's why it would be a good move, because the pressure of the NFL, I think, would make him explode, as you said earlier. But by going to Ann Arbor, here's the other thing that happens for him. Brady Hoke went 7-6 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the year before they went 8-5. They're 1-1 right now. They're in the toughest division of the two.
Correct.
If Michigan loses 4 to 5 games this year, I can see Hoke being fired.
Oh yeah, easily.
And so now you're Harbaugh, and you come in, and your first couple of years you only lose 2 or 3 games. The honeymoon is extended because of that.
Well, but along with what you just said, and I get that, and I understand that, but the big switch up in Michigan and Ohio has been Michigan State coach
Mark D'Antoni.
And his ability to get the kids that come to state that used to go to Ann Arbor
Mm-hmm.
from a recruiting standpoint. So I'm not. Obviously, we're here in Illinois and Champaign, so if they do hire Harbaugh, we obviously hope he can't recruit for a squad. But
Right.
I don't know. A lot of folks up there liking the green and white and liking Sparty nowadays.
Yeah, and that's why, and you think about Michigan did a $100 million renovation to the
Right.
big house. And we talk at the beginning of the show, and we talk on almost every show, it's about the money.
Yep.
And you're putting 100,000 plus every game in that building.
Mm-hmm.
patience get a little thin.
No, short.
Yeah, the guys are like, I spent a little bit too much money to come here to see this.
Yeah, watch them lose 6 games,
Right.
or 4 games, 5 games, whatever.
And we have never played second fiddle to the state.
Yeah.
And those two things there, you know, because I'm looking at Brady Hoke, they went out and they brought in Doug Nussbaum, who's the offensive coordinator who was at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought him in this year.
Right.
Now, obviously, there's a learning curve when you bring in a new offensive coordinator, et cetera.
He came from Alabama.
And they got shut out by Notre Dame.
And some would argue not a great Notre Dame team.
The only difference between this Notre Dame team this year and last year is Everett Golston.
Yeah, right.
Now, defensively, Notre Dame lost a few guys off of last year's defense. You would expect that being Michigan and this rivalry, you're at least going to put 20 points up on the board.
You would think, especially in the big house.
Right. But you don't score a point.
And you don't look good
Not
scoring any points.
No, not at all. And Devin Gardner, God bless his soul.
Hey, but he can read defenses now. So how well that worked out.
When he came out of high school and he was in Detroit, he was one of the top 2 or 3 what they call dual threat quarterbacks in the nation. He went to Michigan under the pretense of, okay, I'm backing up Denard Robinson.
Right.
When they ran the spread, I mean, Devin Gardner is about 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds, runs like the wind. He's not a drop back quarterback. He's not a conventional style quarterback.
He's not West Lawn.
No. And as you said, he's reading defenses. No. He's one of these guys that zone read, stick it in the belly, pull it out, take off running.
Reacts to what he sees.
And every now and then fling it on downfield. And they've changed from Rich Rodriguez to Brady Hoke, and now, like I said, Nussbaum in terms of the offensive coordinator. You know, I think he's been the scapegoat, so to speak, in terms of some of the problems that they've had. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've got a weak opponent. I'm trying to think. I think they play Miami of Ohio.
Right, Miami of Ohio.
He's got to look stellar. And the reason why I say that is Shane Morris, which he was a top 10 recruit, is the left-handed sophomore from Michigan. The alumni will be clamoring for him.
Oh, yeah.
And Gardner, 5th-year senior, you know, because I don't think people will wait too much longer to allow Michigan to go into a Big Ten season.
On a 2-game losing streak.
Bingo.
Well, and one of the problems that Gardner's having is, besides Funches, who's he got to throw to?
Right.
Nobody stepped up. And if you've got one receiver, I can cover him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how the Big Ten starts to try to dig itself out of its hole, but it is in a massive, massive hole, and I don't see at this point in the season. You know, Michigan State might be able to get themselves into the conversation.
well, I think they will.
You know, for the playoff, but
If they run the table, you know, you got to talk about them.
Right.
Whether or not you put them in the top 4 or whatever it is, who knows?
Right.
But if they run the table and they win the Big Ten championship again,
mm-hmm.
you pretty much have to talk about them in the national championship picture. The
Big.
game I'm interested in watching is Penn State Rutgers
Yeah.
this weekend. That should be an awesome football game.
And you know, Penn State they
Got good news.
got good news. The bowl ban and limitation on scholarships have been lifted.
Although the massive penalty stays in place,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing.
This is that question about at the beginning of the show when we talked about double, triple, quadruple jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the Jerry Sandusky scandal. Do you continue to penalize the program for the transgressions of those who are no longer there? And I think when you get into these situations of crime and morality, the area that I think needs to be really taken into consideration is the financial issues for the institution. I think there's got to be a way of, instead of limiting scholarships, of levying fines against the athletic department, where money that was earned by those individuals and generated for the university, that's where
Right.
you need to hit them and hit them in the wallet.
But a lot of these athletic programs get money from trustees and donations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not questioning that, but I'm saying, how much money your program actually generates through ticket sales and marketing and jerseys and all of that. That's where you need to start hitting some of these people in the pocket. Because, I'm a kid, I'm 12-year-old, Penn State's my favorite school, I'm going to go there. 6 years later, I'm 18, and I'm ready to play ball.
They don't have a scholarship.
Right. Because of something that some idiot old man coach did. So to me, there's got to be a different way of doling out punishment for these programs other than punishing really the athletes and the coaches who are currently there, who had nothing to do.
Well, the commissioner, the Big Ten commissioner, doesn't have the power like Adam Silverman or Roger Goodell. So before he dole out anything, he has to take it before the what they call it, the governing board of the NCAA.
But yeah, I know he can't just, like you said, come out and slam the gavel down. But like I said, there needs to be a different way. Because to me, that's very archaic in terms of that type of punishment. We're going to put your program on probation, bowl ban. Now, some people will say, well, the bowl ban, Joe, is the financial penalty. Because if I go to a bowl and I go to a BCS bowl, I'm going to get $5, $10, $15 million.
Get a few million.
And as long as part of that bowl ban is you're not getting any of the shared monies from any of the other bowl games Big Ten teams are playing.
That is the key right there. Because now if 3 other teams go to BCS games, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, etc.,
that's a lot of money.
Because the Rose Bowl generates, I think, between $25 and $30 million. And as you said, the conference, that money is shared between all the member schools.
I mean, the playing school gets a big chunk, and then everybody else gets something.
Right.
So.
All right, we got to go take a break. When we come back, we'll talk NFL. Before we do, though, Jerry Jones is being sued by a woman for sexual assault. Jana Reckerly claims she was a person that took the pictures of Jerry Jones and her. They came out, I think, sometime last week.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she was leaning back in Jerry Jones' arms, and he had his arms wrapped around her. But she's saying that on the night that the pictures were taken, Jones forcibly touched her butt, forcefully fondled her breast.
Did he have malice aforethought?
I'm thinking he did. Forcibly taking her hand and making, do anything.
Obscene gesture.
Yeah. Rubbing her private parts. All of this stuff. I read the suit. Did you see it?
11 pages.
Jerry Jones was busy that night. Anyway, she said it was a lot of
got more than a facelift.
She said it was a lot of alcohol and a lot of drinking.
Wow, imagine that.
And next thing you know, he heard, how about them Cowboys?
Exactly. So
he said, I can take you on the field, show you the star.
She's also suing the Cowboys too, because they didn't investigate it and they didn't, call the police.
Wugga.
And who exactly is the Cowboys other than Jerry Jones?
Here's my business card: owner, general manager, coach, GM.
player.
This
On this-
$800 million stadium.
There you go.
Anyway, the girls were a couple of strippers, so.
Well, that's got nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Boy, yeah, that's
It
true.
just points to the fact that it's a money grab.
That's I don't know. Anyway,
Send your letters to Sergeant Rock, 904 North 4th Street.
I mean, first of all, I have nothing against strippers.
Some of his best friends are strippers.
That's
When's the last time you've been in the bullet?
Move on. Going to commercial break.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Just
been-
trying to save you.
that's been a while. All right, we'll be back.
Welcome back to Chips Ahoy.
Oh man, aren't they great?
Chunky chocolate.
Man,
Man, you got to show this.
they are delicious.
Real chocolate chip cookies.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was over there looking through the camera over there because I am now the video. I run the camera from time to time.
Right. And
You know, they say the camera puts on 10 pounds,
no,
something like that.
cookies put 10 pounds on them.
Anyway, I'm looking through there and I'm looking back there at Mike. All he need on is a Santa suit.
Wow. Wow.
Next time you ask me for a ride, I'll be busy.
No, all you got to do is say, ho, ho, ho.
Got your $20?
Right. You want to get on my sleigh, little boy?
Okay.
You want to get on Dancer or Prancer? So if you looked at Mike and said that, what were you thinking about me when you looked through the camera?
I should have had to look around you to see Mike.
I can see you moving the camera.
Damn. Look around me.
Mm-hmm.
You said that like I'm a pillar or
I
something.
mean, had to take a wide turn.
You hitting the wall, huh?
Anyway, interesting stuff. In the NFL, let's start off with the Bears. You know, there's a lot of them are Bear fans around here.
Why?
The Bears are who we thought they were.
They sure were.
And Buffalo didn't let them off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Cutler.
Looked like the Jay Cutler of old.
No, he just looked like Jay Cutler.
They gave him all that money.
And Mark Trestman and his CFL offense and the best receivers money can buy,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest tight end in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
one of the best versatile running backs,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still throwing it to the defensive tackle.
Couldn't get it done.
You know what stood out for me more than anything? It had nothing to do with the Bears' offense. The Bears' defense is a sieve.
Yeah, they can't stop the run.
And I was saying that all throughout the offseason when people were bragging about, oh, the Bears picked up Jared Allen.
35-year-old Jared Allen.
Right. And Jared Allen, when he was at his peak, was playing in a dome, getting the advantage of the crowd noise in Minnesota and playing on turf.
Dry surface, always.
Jared Allen wasn't that beast on grass. And as Mike said, he's 39 years old. See, we make him older every time.
Yeah, I know.
Say his name, but guess how many tackles he had in that game Sunday?
2.
1.
Wasn't getting his name called. That's not a good game.
No. But the main problem for the Bears, you know, everybody jumps on Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator. But Mel Tucker has, the cupboard is bare.
Yeah, they're all in Tampa.
Right. They have no defensive tackles. Who's the middle linebacker for the Bears? Lance Briggs
I was
is
going to say, that Briggs?
no.
He's an outside linebacker.
He's an outside linebacker. And you still got Chris. I get shoved down like I'm a fat kid in the lunch line, Conti. Did you see how the game ended?
Is that the one that got ran over?
Yeah. He looked like he was a defendant being pushed into the van to go back to the locker.
Yeah, dude just shoved him twice.
Right, get out the way.
Exactly. And he fell down in his
Fell on his back like a roach in the kitchen.
Oh, Bears fans.
But
man.
you see that and you say, okay, just, you know, we talked about Illinois having to throw the ball, you know, at 40, 50 times.
Bears can't afford to get into that situation.
And
You can't depend on Cutler.
Wait a minute. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback,
Who said that?
Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, because Brandon Marshall knows as long as Cutler throws to him, he'll be a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Exactly.
That's what his point is.
Yes, you will.
Keep doing it, Jay. I'm open.
Yeah, there were some good games last week.
You know, so the Bears lose 23-20. Now they got to go on the road to San Francisco.
Yeah.
We just watched San Francisco maul
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that game, Tony Romo.
Well,
He looked
Tony
like
Romo
Jerry.
was Tony Romo.
He looked like Jerry. He ain't just about as bad as Cutler.
I think they're twins.
They kind of do look alike.
Right. And I think they're twins. And here it is, you got Romo, who's 35, just coming off back surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And he was throwing some stupid passes.
That's Tony
Oh
Romo.
my! Well, but I mean, even for Tony Romo, they were like, you know, the receiver cuts right, Romo throws it 15 yards left, and the receiver's looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
Somebody came in and gave Romo a Snickers because he looked like Cutler.
Right?
They say you're not yourself,
Exactly.
and he didn't eat it because he looked horrible that game. And like I said, so now the Bears take on San Fran in San Fran
Francisco,
Sunday.
yeah.
And San Fran's opening a new stadium up, home opener. The Bears have the ability to go 0-2.
And that won't be a good start for them.
Not at all.
In the NFC Central.
No. Because the Detroit Lions,
Yeah, they won.
on Monday night, 35-14 over the Giants. Eli Manning,
Yeah, he's on his way out.
oh,
There's another one look like Cutler.
another Snickers.
Yeah, another Snickers. Yeah, Eli, man.
Eli looked, but you know what you think about?
He makes you
Eli's been bad his whole career
Yeah, it makes you wonder how he got 2 Super Bowl rings.
because everybody else around him was so good. That show you how great the Giants defense were when they won the 2 Super Bowls. Because Eli stinks.